Welcome to the podcast at Zytex 2024, Zytex Global at Ingram Micro podcast. So this is the Trellix podcast at Ingram Micro. So I'm your host here. My name is Sri Ganesh Prasad. I work as a pre-sales engineer for Trellix and Sky High at Ingram Micro. With me, I have Siju Ramachandradasan, who's the Director of Professional Services at Trellix. Hey Siju, welcome. Thank you so much for being here after all your hectic schedule, and glad to have you here.
Thank you, Ganesh. It's actually a pleasure to be here. Really glad that you guys managed to accommodate us here at the stand, and it's been an amazing day so far. So, really happy to be here.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible that you just got off the plane and you straight came here for the Zytex, and glad to have you here. And thanks for being on the podcast this afternoon. So, would you like to quickly introduce yourself about your role at Trellix? We know that you're a Superman at Trellix Professional Services. You do, I mean, I've never seen you saying no to anything that I ask you for. So just a quick round of introduction, what you do at Trellix.
Oh yeah, so I'm Siju Ramachandradasan. I am responsible for services at Trellix across EMEA. Again, part of the reason we have this team is to make sure that all of our customers, partners, and Trellix is successful, right? And that's what we take to heart. That's what we do all the time, and that's why you'll see us partnering up everywhere possible to make sure we provide the right results.
Okay, so now earlier I was having a discussion with Vibin about the very recent the recent incidents that we had on July 19th, especially around CrowdStrike. I'm sure there must have been a lot of, and I saw personally that our CEO, the Trellix CEO, posted on LinkedIn about support to its customers, where even CrowdStrike customers were involved in some way. Like, how did your team? What did you have any role to play when it came to customer support, even when they're not our customers per se? But I'm sure there must have been engagement or two.
Absolutely. So it's a time of crisis, right? So when we have something like that, we don't look at which customer, whose customer, and we just jump into the field to support. And that was Brian's message as well. Like, irrespective of what the situation is, anyone could reach our support platform. It comes back to our teams as needed, and then we had people deployed as necessary. Lot of inquiries, lot of questions, lot of concerns used to come during the period, and we were all answering to the best of our abilities. And then many of our customers also, as Trellix customers, they were having queries about, like, are they impacted? Will they see something like an impact? And then we were in that process of explaining what's different, what's happening, and then again, just giving the assurance to all the different customers and just helping them through the time.
Okay, fantastic. That's really good to know, because we came together as a cybersecurity community rather than just competitors at that moment of crisis. That's really heartening to see that.
Absolutely.
Right. So glad to be part of that community as well. So I just wanted to understand a little bit more about the cybersecurity, what the professional services part of it, how Trellix helps customers achieve their goals, especially around security. Today we are in an era of hundreds of tools you can use, and how we help customers achieve their success in terms of having a secure environment.
Oh yeah. So the part, like, it's a very resource intensive field, right? So we have got almost 50 plus resources on the field in EMEA. We are around 400 people worldwide addressing the same customer concerns across, right? And one of the thing is, for most of the customers, is not just about having controls in place, but it's the effective control deployment and also time to value. This is where a lot of the work is being done, and where we are trying to have help with integrations, automation, and also AI generated tools, which can actually help us fast track many of these engagements. As a services organization, we are really focused on partnering with our customers and partners to make sure we are able to drive that time to value, because everyone's invested into getting their environment secure. The faster you get there, the better. And that's where we put a lot of focus in. And of course, we have the expertise, the experience, the teams are there. They make it so much easier to get get there faster.
I'm sure I've seen so many engagements with customers where the Trellix professional services team does an excellent job at even with along working side together with partners, especially when that fairly newer to the technology, and customers who have just been onboarded with the technology, they need a lot of guidance and support. And Trellix team goes out of the way to support such customers beyond what they signed up for. In some cases, I've seen that firsthand. So apart from that, the challenge today is the advent of so many tools out there, and whenever teams come across some challenges in the environments, I've seen Trellix professional services, again together with partners, they try to set forth, they take a path which was not something that usually, it's not one path that works for everybody, right? So sometimes it is slightly off the beaten track that you have to take. And uh, so with so many tools in being in place, how do you really manage such variety of customer environments? I think it must be a really challenging task for the consultants to deal with, because each environment is different.
Oh yes.
So how does that work? How do you bring along all these pieces together when it happens, when the delivery is happening?
I can probably spend a day explaining that. there's quite a few points in there, but
Yeah.
I have to say it's the way we work as a practice, as a community internally makes a big difference. The way we manage knowledge, the way we share knowledge, that's critical, right? So it's not that everyone has all the skills, but the ability to share that knowledge and pull the right resources in, and not just within the Trellix services community, but going outside, pulling in the labs team, pulling in the support team. And then at the same time, we have partners on the ground who is actually very well versed on the customer environment, pulling those necessary skills in, and working out a solution is the most critical part. So it's never that one guy can go and make the entire difference and implement,
Absolutely.
but the ability to pull on those different people in and addressing the outcome that is needed, that's where the magic is. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I can totally understand how things must be happening, with all these forces coming into play at the same time, right? So that makes the success story for the customer. And with the advent of, you mentioned something about our tools having the new capabilities with the AI. Uh, so what do you see? Where do you see AI impacting professional services? How does it touch the professional services in Trellix, or it could be any other cybersecurity deployment when it comes to deploying the technology itself? How does it impact
Yeah.
professional services?
So one of the point I mentioned earlier was like the time to value, right? So we want to get the products deployed faster. A lot of product management activity is also going into the solutions to make sure that it's deployment friendly. So we don't have to go into 10 weeks of architecture study, but
Yeah.
it can be faster deployed. That's so that there's so much of activity happening there. On the services side, what we have specifically done is we're using AI extensively internally to help our own processes. So I'll
Okay.
give you an example. We just launched internally a tool called Sidekick, which is helping us write scripts, write integration tools
Wow.
for the different products, and that's AI driven. So anything that the consultant has to do is just give them the parameters. It'll generate the scripts for you. You pull it out, you verify it, and you can straight away use it. And the tool is continuously learning with the knowledge that the consultants also have. So every time we do something different, we train it back on the system. The next time the consultants ask, it's a bit more better or more comprehensive solution coming out. So we're doing that quite a bit. We are using that for report writing as well. Some of the content that it's shot out is AI driven. And then also we are having some a particular process within our solution itself where we can go in, pull general data, and then consolidate it as well, summarize it for us. So there's quite a few tools we use internally just to make sure that our consultants can work faster and more optimal and spend more time into just getting that outcome that we need.
But okay, I mean that's truly intriguing, because I remember days when I used to write scripts by myself to make things work between components, and now it's at the click of a few buttons and keys, and you have a script that that must be doing a lot of making life better for the consultant. But nevertheless, they have to vet through the script and make sure everything is working in place. So I'm sure that's taken care of very well. Coming to the point of how the AI is built into, as you mentioned, the product itself is made delivery friendly for the customer, and the consultant knowledge always is the most important part of the equation, together with customers, the knowledge that the partner carries of the uh, customer's environment, right? And now with all that in play, and still the challenge that we have is defending customers' environment. The product is supposed to protect the customer, and even with all things put in place, we do. It's not, as we say in cybersecurity, it's not if, it's when. So when an incident strikes, so how does your team get engaged? Is there something different about how your team approaches, or is there a separate incident response that Trellix handles? What is it? How does it work?
So we have made our incident response process also easier and integrated. So you would have seen the launch of our Thrive success plans, right?
Absolutely.
So that's something that all our customers are entitled to. So they can actually subscribe to either the elite or the advanced. And as part of that process, they are actually getting access to credits, which they can use for in the case of an incident.
Incident response.
And the process is again, we have made it so much simpler that rather than going to different platforms, you can use the same support platform to go in and raise the incident response request. And
Okay.
then once that goes in, our team gets engaged as needed.
Okay. So the incident response is a different team which is offered as a service for customers who are on a role for incident response through flex credits or other ways of subscription, right?
Correct. So it's a different practice,
Yeah, it's a different practice entirely
but within the services of the
within the services, absolutely. And also, there are also offerings I've seen from Trellix about enabling the customers, getting them ready for incidents. The tabletop exercises that you guys do for customer readiness and so on. Can you? I'm sure most customers know about, as enterprise customers know about it, but there are quite a few customers, probably, or even partners, uh, who probably would like to get some more insights on the offers, that what exactly happens in those, what's the value that customer gets when they subscribe to these kind of services, and
yeah.
educational programs and incident response
So-
readiness and so on.
That's quite a good point, Ganesh. So if you look at it, incident response as a practice, right? We can be ambitious and we can say we'll do all the incident response for everyone, right? But that's not our objective. We are there to support. That was my very first statement as well, right? So we are there to partner and support. Now, what we would like and what we always encourage is our partner community, our customer community to build the skills
Absolutely.
so that they are able to handle the incidents on their own. And of course, where they need additional support, we will step in and support. So a large part of the practice is built around actually helping build up the processes, the practice itself. So that would include what is the right process, the tools, the people and the skill set required, and also things like the knowledge, like what kind of trainings do they need to have, etc. Okay,
Yeah.
so we run them through the program, get them enabled, so they're able to do the first response, and then as required, we can step in and support.
The way to get incident response is, of course, the subscription to the incident response services through flex credits, and or otherwise there are multiple ways to subscribe to it. But fundamentally, there are also other services where Trellix offers services such as incident response readiness. So where Trellix offers exercises like tabletop exercise, for example. So customers are prepared for it, not just from a tool perspective, from also a mindset perspective. They exactly know, they have a process set up for incident response, which you usually find in very large enterprises in this region. But when you go with the average size customer or even the partner do not have an alignment on. So I have got so many calls like, okay, my customer got attacked, can you help me? So right, so I am a pre-sales consultant, so I'll try my best to help him, but unfortunately that will not be enough, right?
So Ganesh, I think
Yeah.
first and foremost for me, it's that it's always been about partnering and enabling and driving success, right, for our customers and partners. Now, what we what we ideally like to do is make sure that everyone's got the incident response skills so that they're able to do the at least a level of first response before they call in help. Okay. Now, it would be ambitious for me to say that we can do all the incident response across the globe. That's not what we are
That's
planned
not
for.
practical
That's
at
what,
all.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So that's where we want the skills to be there at all levels. Customers, once they have an issue, they are able to do the first response, escalate it back to us, and then we can support as needed.
Yeah.
So in order to do that, we have our program development within the practice. So we can actually come in, develop the processes, help the people, have the enablement sessions, etc., to make sure that they have that initial skill set. And then as you want to enhance the service, we can actually have more and more trainings and different skill sets embedded into the team. Now, that is one part of it, right? That's reactive. Now, the other part we want to make sure is we don't want to wait for an incident to happen so that you can see whether the customer can actually protect themselves. So that's where all the proactive assessments come into play, like tabletop exercises, right? Just a simple exercise where we actually have all the stakeholders in one room and run through an actual activity about, okay,
Yeah. The
if
scenario
this happens,
based.
if this happens, how do you do? How does this department do? And as the scenario escalates, what's your behavior? So all that can be tested in a more non-intrusive way. The other fact, like the type of assessments we can do red teaming, pen testing, just to try to
Yeah.
simulate. The other, and one of the biggest one that we do in the region is ransomware readiness assessment.
Okay.
Everyone asks about it, like, are we secure against ransomware? And we're like, guys, let's test it out. So it's
Okay.
it's a combination of tool-based assessment. We have some simulators which we run, which triggers up all the controls. It comes together, and then when you look at the data, you can really know what controls picked up which kind of activities.
Okay.
Once all the alerts came in, how did operations handle it? And then you can have a 360-degree view of how actual proactive are you on controlling a ransomware risk. So we have all these different kind of assessments, and one of the things is one size doesn't fit all. So we'll actually understand what each of the customer needs, where they are within the journey, and then tailor something that is specific for them.
Okay. So that's got that. I did not know about this, the ransomware readiness program, because I see a lot of tools out there in the market which are around, which have a continuous way of monitoring the security controls or effectiveness of or the efficacy of the security controls the customer has in place. There are commercial tools out there, but it's good to know that Trellix has a practice which can help the customers to achieve those outcomes. Yeah, like you mentioned, security has to be everyone's responsibility, not just the technical person in the organization. So everybody needs to be educated about. So it would be good for us to propagate that message to our partners and our customers to ensure that they're educated in that sense, and they become more aware of what to do and what not to. Right. So that makes a huge difference.
Actually, on that factor, we are now investing a lot of time in webinars and events, and we are actually showcasing our capabilities even as a services team in most of the forums we can, and
Sure.
we are openly available. Any request that comes our way, we are definitely happy to have a discussion and help guide through the process.
Yeah, I can see that. I see now a lot of noise that Trellix is creating around generating awareness in general sense, not just about the tools that they sell, but also general. When you go to the Trellix portal, I see a lot of educational material for customers to understand what is all about, right? So, yeah, interesting. I mean, thank you so much for your time. I'm sure we could have a lot of discussion around practices that, as you said, they may not be enough for us to discuss about all the points. But thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Dinesh. It's been
Thank
a
you.
pleasure, and
Yeah.
really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was a pleasure having you as well, and for your quick. Yes, like I said, I've never seen you saying no to anything. So thank you for being part of the podcast. So in such a short notice period. Thank you so much.
Anyways, thank you.
Thank you.